What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be showing you how I made this photo. The mood I was trying to go for was the moody adventure type feel. Here's the before, and then again here's the after. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the picture is a little too cold for me, so I brought the temperature up just a little bit. I don't want to do it too much because then I just mess with the whole image, and that's just a lot more to work with later. So I'd say around there is fine. It's a little dark, so I'll bring up the exposure around 120 is fine. See, I would mess with the highlights, but since I have to change the sky anyway, I'm just going to use my graduated filter for that, so I'll come back to that. And then next, I'm going to lift the shadows up just a tad. Not too much, because then it just looks all white. But I just want to keep a little bit of the blacks in there, so I'm just going to lift it up just a tad. And then for the saturation, I always bring down here just because I like to mess with them here in the HSL sliders. And then after that, honestly the most important thing that helped me with this was the tone curve. Everything else was just real basic. So I already have my tone curve I use for these type of images saved as a preset, so I just apply them, and if I need to make any adjustments from there I will. But for this one, it worked out perfectly. I'll just give you a brief overview. So each one has an S curve, the RGB, and you got the reds, the greens, and the blues. They're all real similar. So applying that really changed this image quite a bit. After that, I'll just move straight down to the HSL sliders. So the first is the hue. I'm gonna leave the reds because there's not really that much red. And orange, I want to make the image a little bit more orange, so I'll bring it down just a little bit right there, make a little more red, I guess. And then for the greens, bring these up just a tad. It doesn't really do much, but later I realize it will help a little bit. Let's bring that up a little bit. Alright, and the blues, I know you can't really see, but up here it really messes with it, so I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit because I want it to be like purplish, I guess. So bring it down just a little bit. That'd be fine. And then there's nothing really else to do in the hues, so let's move over to the saturations. Leave the reds, the oranges. I'm gonna bump those up once again just to get a little more orange and sunset feel in there. Let's see, around 15 is fine. And then for the greens, bring these down just a tad. Right there's fine. Same thing for the blues, because I don't really want that many blues in this photo. So let's bring it down about 15. That'd be fine. Then luminance. This is what makes parts of the images pop out more, like more brighter or darker. So reds, I'll bring up a little bit just because it messes with the axis on the mug, so I'll bring that. I don't want to bring it up too much, just a little bit. And oranges, I'm going to bring it up more just to make that sun pop out. Let's see, around 40, 43 is fine. Greens, make them a little darker. Same thing with the blues, it's a little darker. And then purple, let's see. Oh, so you see the messes with the mug. A lot of times, I don't know, I just like to mess with it anyways if I don't know what color it's messing with. If I'm not really too sure, sometimes I use that and then hover over certain parts of the image. As you can see, like right now it's over the purples. So I'm going to bring, just because I want the mug a little bit brighter, I'm going to bring the purples. I think the magenta, bring the magentas up as well. Alright, so that's honestly good with the HSL slider, so we can see where we're at right now with the before and after. With the highlights and shadows, I'm just gonna leave how they are. I think the photo looks fine how it is with like the split toning wise. Sharpen, I don't like to do too much in Lightroom. I usually do more of that in Photoshop. So let's leave that around. We'll just do 50. I always enable profile corrections. I don't know, and sometimes it doesn't really do much, but it just, I don't know, helps me a little bit on the inside. So the next is the calibration. On this, yeah, I didn't really do too much either. I think it's shadows. I'll just bring a little bit more to the pink side. Not much. And then the reds, I'm going to leave the hue how it is and just bring the saturation up. Let's see. Around 10's fine. Alright, and the greens, I'll bring down just a little bit. Right there's good. Alright. And then the blues, I don't really have to mess with the blues. I think it's fine how it is. Yeah, so then after that, I'll just go ahead and crop this a little bit. Just to get rid of these extra pieces up there. Just crop it. Alright, so now use the graduated filter. Just mess with the sky. So with this, just make it a little bit more warm. So they have it poking a little more orange around these trees. So I'll bring it up a little bit, and then the highlights I'm gonna bring down just to get a little, bring the trees back a little bit. Alright, so that. And the next thing I'll do, just because this coffee right here, it's actually tea. It's a little bit light, so that's why it's light. So I'm gonna darken that just a little bit. Just add some contrast to it. Let's see. And then a trick that I use to make sure I know what I'm selecting is when you hit O, it creates like a red outline of where you're highlighting. So it just makes it easier. Just because I'm not really doing too much, and for the sake of the video, I'm just doing this kind of quick. So let's hit O again so I can see what I'm working with. So you can see it doesn't really do too much, but it definitely adds a little bit more texture to it. I think that should be fine. Alright, the next thing, I think the mug is still a little dull looking, so I'm going to do the adjustment brush. And then I'm going to bring it up a little bit, and the whites, maybe the highlights too. We'll see. And again, for the sake of the video, I'm just doing this real quick. Highlight it. The reason why I'm making this brighter because this is the main part of the image, so it's really got to pop from everything else. I feel like if I didn't, it would just kind of blend in with the rest of the image. Alright, so I got that selected. Once again, that's O to select it, deselect. So I'll zoom out. So I'll bring it up a little bit. That should be fine. Wish it would be a little brighter. I don't want to mess with the exposure just because it really makes it bright. So I'm just going to bring up the highlights just a little bit more. Alright, I'm just going to select it. And if you, like right here, I'm a little sloppy. You can see it kind of went over here too. If you want to get rid of that, just hit erase. Oh, you just hit erase and get rid of your little mess. It should be fine. Just for the sake of the video. This is not going on Instagram or anything, so I'm fine. Alright, so I think I got everything on there. Yeah, it should be good. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do, since I'm done in Lightroom, I want to bring it into Photoshop because I want to get rid of these little chips that are on there and try to get rid of these really obvious drops of the tea. So I'm going to just right click, edit in Photoshop. Whenever it decides to load. Okay. Alright, so do Command J to create a duplicate layer. Zoom in a little bit. Just to make it super easy, just use the spot healing brush tool. I want it too big, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And just select that chip. Just a little piece right here. Does bother me. I'll select this chip. And then same with this one. Sometimes it doesn't select at all, so you have to go back over and get those little pieces. Oh, never mind, it's just dirt on my screen. Alright, so then head over to this little piece, same thing. I'm just doing little bits. I don't want to select the whole thing because it doesn't really work that way. You just kind of do it in little increments. So it just kind of blends in. And the same thing with over here. Kind of select all that just so it blends in a little better. Same with that little piece. Alright, so that is it. And then if you want to know how I sharpen my photos, remember I did say in Lightroom that I would come back into Photoshop and sharpen it. So what I do on that layer, go to Filter, Other, High Pass. I don't want to bring the radius up too much because then it might make it too grainy. So I'm going to leave it around 1. So you just hit OK. And then for here, I'm going to go over to Hard Light. And then I'll zoom in. You can see like the little difference that it made. Not too much, but good enough. Oh wait, what'd I do? This stuff's back. Oh, what'd I do? Oh, I have to do another layer. There we go. Do that real quick again. Alright, perfect. And that is it. Thank you guys for watching my first video. Just because it was my first video, I did leave a link to the free preset in the description. So if you want to head over to my website and download that, you're definitely more than welcome to. There will be a discount code that you can enter in to get it for free. And then I do want to thank the people who requested me to make this video. It was fun. I'm sure I'll do some more in the future. So yeah, if you can please leave a like and comment, subscribe, and let me know what you thought of this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. Until next time, bye.